Hi everybody, I'm Dawn. I'm your astrologer and I'm here to talk to you about the Pisces full moon. The very intense, watery, nebulous, emotional full moon when the moon will be at 28 degrees of Pisces opposing the sun at 28 degrees of Virgo. This axis of the analytical versus the ambiguous, the fact versus the fantasy. And many of us feel really at a place of vacillating between those two extremes. So this Virgo season has been very intense. All of the planets moving through Virgo have been opposing Neptune, occupying its home sign of Pisces in its transit. And so this has been this stark reality of the spiritual identity trying to be expressed in a tangible 3D form on this planet. And so we feel that tug. I know personally I have North Node in Pisces, a South Node in Virgo, and so I operate in this energy all the time, which doesn't make it any less uncomfortable. We are here incarnated for the human experience, and sometimes we get so caught up in this ascending to the spiritual realm and connecting with the spiritual realm, which is a wonderful thing. But I think, note to self, sometimes, we need to remember that we incarnated to bring heaven down to earth. The spiritual realm really doesn't need our help, but we can connect with source energy, especially in a culmination cycle like this, and really bring that unconditional love, that interconnectedness between the creator, the love from which we are sourced, and everyone that we are energetically connected with, whether that's human, animal, any energetic being. And so Pisces is the most intense emotional water sign. It rules the last sign of the zodiac, the final house, the 12th house. And so this is the ending of endings. This is the true culmination cycle in this year where we are not only are in the final sign for this full moon, we are at the harvest moon, ending a season, moving into the fall equinox when the sun moves into Libra on the 22nd. So we're at this shifting point where a cycle is ending and closing and a new one is opening and beginning. And so this is a real time of deep introspection, taking a look at who we are as a spiritual being and how we express that identity on this planet in our interconnectedness with others. And so this Virgo season, all these planets going through this very analytical attention to detail, analyzing how to execute in order to get the job done. This axis of health and healing. Health and wellness is attention to our own personal body's health and wellness, and the health and wellness of the mind is ruled by Virgo in that 6th house of the job sector, the work that we do to serve others. And then the opposite end is that spiritual realm, that escape from reality, that beautiful flow state where we can tune in to the subtleties of spirit and receive intuitive hits, answers to prayer, divine guidance. And so this is all part of who we are. And I believe that this full moon is so significant because it happens a little over 28 degrees, almost at the final degree of Pisces and Virgo, 29th degree, the anaretic degree, the karmic degree of completion. And so this moon is it's loosely conjunct Neptune in Pisces. I think there's 7 degrees. Neptune's at 21 degrees. This moon's at 28 degrees. So this is the emotional dream, the spiritual dream, what we desire to feel emotionally satisfied as a spiritual being. And it's in this opposite energy with how do we execute that in Virgo. And the sun in Virgo at the final degrees with all of these ideas is thinking about how to express itself And the sun is conjunct Mars, which is at 3 degrees of Libra. Even though Mars has moved into Libra, it's 5 degrees from the sun. So this is a conjunction. So here's the sun, our source of our spark of creation, our talents, our gifts, our inner fire, the way we want to show up as a creative individual and share that with others in the world, is closely conjunct to Mars, which has just moved into Libra. How do I express that in a harmonious, balanced way? And Libra is, a sign of the balance, the scales. However, it does have a lower vibration energy presented on occasion that is indecisive or people-pleasing. And so this Mars may not really know how to take action, how to execute our expression of who we are. And then right past Mars is Mercury in Libra. Mercury, which is in shadow, our analytical mind, the ruler of Virgo, where the sun is. And Mercury is in shadow, ready to station retrograde on the 27th. And it will be here until the beginning of October and really not leave shadow till the beginning of November. So we've got the next, 5 to 8 weeks of really this mercurial mind retrograding over this area in Libra, our partnerships, our interconnectedness, our interpersonal relationships, the organic experience. We're really revisiting, like, how do we connect to ourselves, to source energy, and to others in a real world, not that analytical, almost that technological, data-oriented aspect of getting the job done that we can sometimes experience with that Mercury Virgo energy. But this is like, how do we balance it all? How do we balance all of our parts? How do we honor the spiritual connection and our everyday presentation of who we are? And this week, the water signs, we're in this water intensity, what we feel as a human being. The ruler of Pisces, Neptune, and the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, aspected the sun, our inner fire. And our sun is our spark of our individuality, much like the sun is the heart of our solar system. Our sun is the heart of who we are and how we express that. And this moon in this loose sextile to Pluto retrograding in Capricorn during this full moon, this was really initiated earlier in the week when Neptune opposed the sun. And then Pluto was in a trine to the sun, a support, looking at that stark difference. And then here comes that soul support to purge our personal power in that Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, allowing us to dissolve and cut those cords of that toxic tie to the past, programming, conditioning, mode of operating, right? To end those toxic parts of our lives. And Pisces is that sign where we escape reality. It is the nebulous dream world, the fantasy world, whether we do that through music or art or meditation or nature or substances. It can show up, it has the availability to show up in very toxic means. And this is a time to end that cycle. We're almost at the karmic degree of completion. And so this is a time for us to look at who we are, on a soul level, on a spiritual level, and on a human level, and examine anything that inhibits that balanced partnership with others. And it always starts with us. It's always an inside job. Neptune has been transiting its home sign of Pisces since 2012. We've seen this huge rise in, substance abuse and addictive escapism, even through technology modes of existing since that time. And it's also been an intense increase in, grief, sadness, depression. And of course, we have had events to support that. But what this Pisces full moon is offering us is a choice. You know, a choice to operate in the higher vibration of connecting to the energetic source of creation and love and support that sustains us, or to escape into a self-delusional realm of never ending and sometimes never returning areas of ambiguity, of fantasy that doesn't face any of the Virgo analytical attention to details of the everyday life when it comes to healing on an organic level. And so we are faced with this time, this karmic choice to really think about who we are as a spiritual individual. And how do we want to purge our personal power, evolve our soul's growth, show up? And you know, this energy is an air of optimism. It has that undertone of spiritual support, emotional healing. And then Jupiter will be moving out of Aquarius away from Saturn when these guys station direct in October. And Jupiter, the great benefic, the planet of luck and abundance, the ultimate truth, moves back into Pisces, the dream world, bringing the blessings, bringing the divine inspiration, bringing the ability to connect with our creative inner spark and share that in authentic form, really show up for what we incarnated to do and show up for. And so when Jupiter moves into Pisces and then conjuncts Neptune, this is an expansion of our connection with that spiritual realm, with the realm beyond the veil. And we can do that in a very healthy way that still honors that health and wellness of the organic body in an appropriate balance. You know, we're moving into Libra season, and that balance, that justice, that right action of growth with Mars going in there. It's what action that I take to express my creative self feels beautiful, feels balanced, feels harmonious, and fosters these balanced interpersonal relationships and the dynamics of my partnerships with others. And so this is a time that we can really kind of relax, not be so much of a human doing with that Mars, but this Mars energy in Libra is a human being in the moment, slowing down to examine with that Mercury retrograde, letting these outer planets, I think there's still 5 outer planets in retrograde, finish up and station direct so that the momentum is moving forward. But for right now, just allowing ourselves to be, you know, to be one with our own spirit, to be one with the Creator, to be one with nature, and then to learn to be one in harmony, in an organic, spiritual experience with others. And so I wish you all the most wonderful of full moon blessings, and I will see you on the new moon. Bye-bye.